Artesian spends its time working in those blurry lines between sales and marketing, and I talk a little bit about the relationship between sales and marketing. In fact, I considered calling this presentation, when we talk about the relationship between sales and marketing, Mummy and Daddy, please stop shouting at each other, because that's very often the relationship we've seen between our sales and marketing team. But anyway, let me step back. Let me start with an opening thought. Cisco recently reported that they had recorded a zettabyte of data. Now, the next unit of measurement after a zettabyte is a yottabyte, and for the geeks amongst us, that's 10 to the power of 24. The IEC, the international committee that decides on those naming conventions, doesn't actually have a word. They haven't agreed a word beyond yottabyte to describe data. So we've literally run out of words to describe how big data is. And you know, there's something very tacit about, you know, scale, volume. We've heard a lot about that this afternoon and this evening. You know, dealing with scale, dealing with volume. But you know, historically, to quote Clay Shirky of NYU and author, we've always overestimated the value of access to information, but perhaps underestimated the value of access to one another, to each other. In other words, we sometimes underestimate the value of human interaction. So, social, a technology that has also been getting its fair share of column inches, is very much about opening up new possibilities for interacting with our prospects and with our customers. Social presents opportunities to improve the quality of our interactions, not just the scale, not just the rate at which we engage with our customers and our prospective customers, not just the sheer volume of interactions, but the depth and the meaningfulness of those interactions. So let me try and describe a little better what I mean by that. So customer value types tend to exist along this continuum. We've got customers that are very transactional. That is best exemplified by Jeff Bezos, right? What Jeff would say is, it works best if we don't interact with our customers at all. Everything just works. Now, customers can just get on with talking to their friends and their family. And then at the other end, in the world of consultancy, customers want advice and guidance. These are the kinds of customers that want to be taken on a journey. They need lots of interaction with us. We probably need to meet them too. And we tend to think that the continuum exists along this sort of neat bell curve. But of course, and we've seen lots of the reason for this today, actually what's happening is that curve's hollowing out. There's a bifurcation of customers taking place, largely as a result of a lot of the ad technologies that we've seen today. Marketing at the transactional end, if it can be automated, it will be. If it can be programmed, it will be. And then at the other end, where customers want advice and guidance, that's an entirely different matter. So this is the space that tends to be marketing-led, if I can be a little bit controversial. Technology-rich, a lot of that technology we're seeing today. And it's all about scale. Right? It's about big data, big volume, and dealing with lots of people at one time. Real time. This space tends to be sales-led. And this is where my organization, Artesian, sits. It tends to be technology-sparse, and it's really all about engagement. It's not about talking to lots of people at the same time. It's about engaging a small number of people at great depth and meaningfulness. And that's where we live. And that's typically where B2B marketers live, right? And just think of the challenge for a B2B marketer, a classic B2B marketer, these guys at IBM, Anil Menon, who articulates it this way. In a consultative sale, you're creating the product as you sell it. As a marketer, how do you market that product if it's being designed as it's being sold? It's the classic challenge for a B2B marketing team. They're dealing with those high-tech touch customers, highly consultative. What do we know about them? Their problems are complex, right? They're what we call they're knotty, nuanced, or nascent. There's a prolonged recognition of needs. They might not even know they have the problem at the moment, and therefore they probably need lots of education throughout their discovery process. And there are many potential solutions. Now, that's true of transactional too, right? There are lots of options for all of what we do, whether or not they're FMCG or B2B consultancy services. But these can be wildly different. You know, one of our customers had a bit of an issue with their head office. They were causing lots of local congestion. It happened to be a very beautiful part of the UK. Now they could solve that problem in they could invest in local infrastructure. They could move their corporate head office, or they could invest in a digital home working and mobile workforce solution. All of those things, wildly different solutions to their problem, and wildly different cost profiles, but all would solve that very specific niche, knotty, and nuanced problem. And necessarily, that's highly competitive, right? So we don't even know sometimes in the B2B space who we're competing with. How do we support our sales team when we don't know who our competitors are? Another classic B2B marketing challenge. And it requires trust. You know, these are very often career make or break decisions that our buyers are making, and it requires trust in the business that they're dealing with, and therefore longer, deeper relationships. And it's driven by what we call at Artesian the connected business buyer. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the connected business buyer. Let's take a look at this individual. They're massively well informed. For every one piece of content that we can give them as a marketing team or as a sales team, they'll find 3 more for themselves. They're incredibly well connected. They're incredibly well researched. Apparently, we'll make 10.4 pieces of research in every industry, B2B, B2C, before we make any kind of purchase. 5.4 apparently for a burger. 16.6 before we will vote. Marginally more when we buy electronic goods, apparently 16.8. And buyers are, today's buyers are, they're very social. They're interacting with their peers. They're perhaps ignoring our ads. They're ignoring our marketing, and they're comparing notes with their peers when they reach out and discuss their knotty, nuanced, or nascent problems. This research, by the way, bang up to date, 2014, from the IDC. And the more senior the decision maker, the more likely they are to reach out to their peer group. Senior VP level, that rises to 84%. And I'm not talking about digital natives or Gen Y or millennials here. There's a more pressing issue, guys. You know, the connected buyer is in place today, and we're trying to market and sell to those individuals today. They're not about to enter the workforce. They're in the workforce today, and they're massively, massively social. So what challenges does that present to us in the B2B marketing space? Let me take you through this. So our customers are high value, right? Hyper high value. And therefore, there's a greater expectation of value throughout the pre-sales process, both through the marketing and the sales process. They expect it to be highly personalized and to a point where it needs that one-to-one relationship. You know, and we've only been able to do this previously by scaling, you know, the one-to-one marketing workforce in any organization is a B2B sales team, but that doesn't scale. And so it needs that one-to-one relationship, but it does require sales and marketing to collaborate. It requires mummy and daddy to play nicely together. And customers, throughout this process, they want to be listened to, but more than that, they want to feel that they've been listened to. You know, it's still an emotional sale, even in a B2B context. And how do we respond to that as marketers? in B2B. The chief device we use is content marketing. It's not the only device, and of course, content marketing is used with our transactional customers too, as evidenced today, and a la Coke 2020. But content marketing is a great device for B2B marketing. Helps customers find us. It establishes a reputation. It scales infinitely. It's digital mostly. This content is video, and it's infographics, and it's ebooks, and it's incredibly social. It's an act of generosity. We give to get, and we educate our customers along the process. It builds relationships, and the act of generosity builds the brand image in a B2B space. And what do we learn from content marketing? Actually, it's pretty powerful. We learn a lot from content marketing. So from seemingly simple interactions with our content, an ebook download, an infographic view, watching videos, with carefully crafted content, we can start to understand the buyer's journey and the buyer's persona. That's what B2B marketers do. They can understand a great deal from, as I say, seemingly simple interactions. But that's just one dimension. Really what that is the way in which the buyer is interacting with us, with our business, with our content. I would posit that there's more than that. They're inward signals, they're outward signals. And there's a possibility, some of those possibilities that I opened with, when we're interacting with very social buyers. Their needs are open, they're transparent, they're talking about it to their peer group. There's a possibility to detect outward signals, signals that they're generating as a result of engaging with their customers, with their partners, and with other businesses, perhaps with regulators, the people that they do business with. And from those signals, we can understand, are they growing? Do they have challenges? What are the opportunities? What are the aspirations of that business? You can understand all those things if only we could analyze those signals, if only we could listen and listen effectively. But listening is hard. Right? We're continuing to generate all this content. It's a lot harder than it looks. This is this infographic's released every year by a guy called Brian Solis, author of The End of Business as Usual, and it used to be called it used to be referred to as the Solis daisy, because these little spokes were petals, because but over the years it's grown so significantly, the number of social platforms, that it takes this form in 2014. So you can see this is just it's more than Facebook and Twitter, right? It's more than just those two platforms. There are lots of places to listen for those outward signals. And these are just the social platforms. What about all the other digital online editorial places to listen? And we all know the data, right? We've heard this all before. Facebook, if Facebook were a nation state, yada yada. But it's tough to listen when there are 100,000 tweets every single minute of every single day. So we need some technology to help with this. And again, to quote Clay Shirky, it's not that we're information overload. It's we need to improve the quality of our filters. And this is exactly what we're doing with in the social listening, social CRM space. We are interested in, is the business growing? Is it contracting? Is it taking a change in strategic direction? We can see those signals. Not so much interested in a change to their support line. Let me give you an example of just one of those signals, a new CFO. According to McKinsey, a new CFO in place, first 100 days, they're going to look at things like their management reporting, planning, budgeting, and forecast applications. If you're a B2B sales and marketing team, that's a perfect opportunity to engage with that business, with that individual in this case, and start talking about the solutions that you've got. Very complex, long marketing and sales processes. Those first 100 days are key. But there are more. It's not just about what's happening to people. It's about what's happening to the business as an entity. Are they launching new products? Are they changing their branding? Lots of things that can go on in a business that that B2B sales and marketing team can respond to. I'll just make this real for you. Lots of theory so far. Let me make this real for you. This is the Artesian product. There's one of those signals being made real. This is, we've got 15,000 B2B users using this product today in some of the largest B2B sales organizations in the UK, and it's different for every one. There are some of the filters, including the topics, the customers, and that number there is a gamification metric. What we're really doing here is helping very often salespeople get into a marketing mindset. So I need to close. Takeaways. Customers are increasingly bifurcating between transactional and high touch. We've seen that. Technology is all about scale in the transactional end of the customer. It's about engaging meaningfully in the high touch end. Combining inward-outward perspectives on customers is incredibly powerful. Marketing is evolving solutions for deeper engagement. Sales required to take on very much a marketing mindset. One final takeaway of profound wisdom. Thank you very much.